Alright everybody, welcome back to PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com. It is Saturday, November 11th, 2023. Happy birthday, Jenna. Um, let's dive right into the markets and look at how our automated trading systems did this week. So, Friday, a little down move, I think, in the YM, the Dow futures, that we show here for I think 6 months, and we look at here and we look at all of our trades for 1110. They were all negative, four in a row, but they're not big losers. So that's kind of what you want to focus on: is the winners outpace the losers, even when the losers are bad, and the winners outpace the sometimes a whole run of losers. So, and then in the long run, this is from 8/10/22 until 11/10/23. So 13 months of data. We're looking for an upward sloping equity curve, and that's what we have here. So that's the Dow. This is the Russell. We got one negative trade, I think, Friday, and the Russell doesn't trade near as often the way we have it set up. So this is the same from May until now of 2023. This is the one negative trade on Friday. And again, these are big winners, these are big winners, and the rest of these are relatively small losers. So don't dwell on the fact that it's $1,600. You can't do that. Um, I mean, you can, but it doesn't really help you in trading. And in the long run, this is from 8/10 of 2022 until 11/10 of 2023. So you can see upward sloping, ultimately equity curve. So this is the results of our trading, not it's literally adding up the wins and the losses like we just looked at here for that whole period of time. Alright, and then we look at the NASDAQ, which is, it's got the least amount of drawdown, but it's still got drawdown. And on Friday we got a nice little pop. In fact, lately in the last couple days it's been that way. So it trades the most of all of our systems. And when you add all those up, it was a winning day, even though we had some losers along the way. And that is, unfortunately, the way trading works. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And in the long run, this is what our equity curve looks like. So you can see we're perking up here at the end, which is good. I don't like necessarily that these bars are getting so close together as far as as choppy as this looks, because, well, we had that here. But you never know. This thing can just continue to do maybe one of these here soon. That would be really neat and great. All right, so that's our automated trading systems. The markets themselves are basically fighting their way up, is the way I see it. And this is the S&P 500. So we got a giant move. We went sideways, threw in a fake to the downside, and then came back and shot back up to the upside. So at this point, I'm going to be looking at this upper Bollinger Band for basically topping signals like we get sometimes, but really nothing to do except trade the actual chart that you see. So like, I'll use Abbott, which is trying to make a turn. It hasn't really done it on the hourly chart. It got to stop in place, and we're going off of this turn that's happening. So this one's not exactly perfect, but every now and then they get up and going. This is a similar one that popped and then pulled back, and that's where we bought. and now it's trying to rise. So um, hopefully that helps you kind of see how this stuff works. It popped and then it had earnings. I don't love holding through earnings, um, so I didn't. So I didn't buy this until we got after earnings, and then we could see that there was some. And again, I got a stop in place down here. So, anyways, that's how I trade. Sometimes you got to find your own way, but I'm trying to help you find a way. So let's look at we looked at the S&P. Let's look at the Dow. Very similar. This is arguably, I mean, it's sideways action, and then we got a pop toward the end of the day, Friday, which is what this looks like here. So, yeah, the Russell is coming up off the bottom, and actually, if you look down to the left over here, I got IWM in place, which is coming up off the bottom, which again, a little counter trade, but well, I don't have the stop in place yet. I need to do that this weekend, but I'll put the stop either here or somewhere over here, probably over here. Um, I also decided to throw the two ATR uh, Keltner channels in here so I could see where, if you get beyond the two ATR to the downside, if you're long, that's a pretty good place to take a stop. So obviously my trailing stop would be flipped, and that would be the first sign to get out. But if it actually stops or gets past the 2 ATR to the downside, then there's no reason to be in the trade. And we can actually throw that on the hourly chart and play it the same way and figure out where the 2 ATR trailing stop is. We could actually just stop ourselves if we get stopped out on the hourly before you ever get stopped out on the daily, and keep your losses short. Okay. That was the Russell, and then the Nasdaq, of course, has been the one that is the strongest, and we are coming up off the bottom. And I think once we get a pullback, this is going to be a buying opportunity. Um, I have a little bit in the Qs personally, but right now it's only a little because this move off the bottom was so fierce and didn't give you much chance to buy on pullbacks. You had to hold your nose, and that's why I held my nose and bought a half a position back when that was going on. Okay. The IYT, which is the transports, looks an awful lot like the Russell 2000, and it's got some opportunity here. Still really looking for a better entry here, personally, and that might be a pullback to this 50% line. Yeah, once we get some better answers, when the thing pulls back and the market's like, yeah, people are gnashing their teeth, that's a good time to buy. Although it looks to me like right now the Russell and the transports are going to be lagging. Alright, oil bounced on Friday, up 2.13%. There you go. And we got a Bollinger Band cross, and it's looking pretty rough on the weekly chart. Obviously rough on the daily chart, and this is actually was a buying opportunity on the hourly chart if you wanted to be an hourly buyer. So for a very short-term trade. So hopefully you understand that it depends on what time frame you're trading to where your real opportunity is, and if you can line up time frames, that's usually a better chance to be in a winning side, on the winning side of a trade. All right, so that's enough of that for this week, and let's flip over to back to the internet and take a look at stockcharts.com that we're not affiliated with, but let's look at the bullish percent indexes. I use these as an indication of where the buying actually is, or the bullishness, if that's a word. Um, so the industrials didn't move on Friday. This is Saturday, by the way. So, oh yeah. Also, thank you to all the veterans out there. The NYA that went down by 0.14%, but it's in a column of X's. The transports didn't move, also in a column of X's. The Nasdaq down by 0.27%, which isn't much, also in a column of X's. The SPX didn't move on Friday, but in a column of X's and a point and figure buy signal. And the OEX, same story, didn't move though. That's interesting on Friday. And the NDX actually went down by 1.75%. It is on a recent point and figure buy signal that happened a couple days ago, and that's where we're at. So I'm really looking for some short-term, really short-term bullishness into some Bollinger Bands, then a rollover, get everybody on the wrong side of the trade, and then that's a buying opportunity. So the markets tend to, push traders around, and usually the best opportunities are the ones where you can't see them coming as easily. So that's what we're here for. So that's what I got. Have a great rest of the weekend, and take care. Good trading, and hope this helps.